Outside on a wintry afternoon in Columbus, Ohio. Still signs of winter, but inside things are heating up. Great dual action. Women's gymnastics here at St. John Arena. The Iowa Jimhawks ranked 25th in the country against the 17th ranked Buckeyes of Ohio State. Come inside and get ready. Cozy up, everybody, as we say welcome. Iowa comes in. I think momentum might be a key word. The winners of 3 in a row. But as we say hi to our friend and colleague Mary Lee Tracy, you and I were here a week ago. Ohio State debuted rather disappointingly in Big Ten conference action, but some stellar efforts by some freshmen.
Yes, and if you remember 1 year ago, it was a tie. It was a dead-on tie. And in gymnastics, from a coaching perspective, ties don't happen. It's divided sometimes by 1/100th of a tenth.
Let's talk about those Hawkeyes who come in on quite a roll for fifth-year coach Larissa Libby. She has a freshman-laden team. Count them, 9 freshmen for that gal, and some stars for her.
Well, first of all, they have Jennifer Sambutis, who is powerful, focused, ready to do her job. Some of her best events would start with the balance beam. She is steady and solid as a rock, and she is going to be a player on all the events. And there's Hori Gabezian. She is an all-arounder. She's going to be strong on vault, which is going to be an important event for the Hawkeyes tonight.
Carrie's also in her 5th year, 8 letter winners, 3 seniors, and of course for her some outstanding freshmen as well, Mary Lee.
Yes, and here, this is one of their strong bar workers, which is going to be their important event tonight. And this is Alyssa Meyer, who will anchor for the team.
And how about the outstanding sophomore Rebecca Best?
Yes, Rebecca Best, full of power on this event. And the last 2 events tonight are going to come down to floor and beam, and her routine is going to be important for the Buckeyes.
She leads the Buckeyes in the vault. You'll see Rebecca Best in the all-around. You'll also see the outstanding Buckeye freshman Taylor Jones. So women's gymnastics on your Big Ten network, all pointing to the Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championship, which you'll see live right here. Back inside St. John Arena on the campus of Ohio State University. Great dual meet, the Hawkeyes and the Buckeyes. First up, Iowa opens up on the uneven bars. You'll see both of the Zimbutas, Jennifer and her sister Rebecca. Ohio State on the vault, you'll see Rebecca Best and Taylor Jones. The series history, and as Mary Lee pointed out a year ago, these 2 teams a very unusual tie. I mean, you're dealing in hundreds of points, and that was the final score as they were all knotted up. Amanda Serene, the senior out of Fairfield, Ohio.
And a nice start for the Buckeyes. Not only did it rise, but what a great landing.
Back from a foot injury, competing for her final year for Coach Fagan.
Very aggressive vaulter, which I think is a lot of the reason you see that kind of power on this vault. And look at that landing, such discipline.
First up on bars,
First up for the Hawkeyes on the bars, the sophomore from Port Salona, New York, Ariel Sucic.
She starts a little different. She mounts on the inside of the bars because she does a very nice release move from the low bar to the high bar, which is very unusual. Now she's going to swing up to a handstand. And that's a free hip to handstand. Nice lines in the vertical position and a great release move. And here's the setup for the dismount, which is a double back with a full twist. And look at that landing as she won Happy Athlete.
Great reaction from Coach Larissa Libby. And check out that release move now.
Yeah, this is a really nice release move. She's certainly not afraid to fly. Here she goes, getting ready to swing up to handstand. That's how she sets herself up.
And the 20-year-old sophomore celebrated her birthday just 2 weeks ago. For the Buckeyes, Kiki Holman, competing in the all-around, the landscape architecture major out of Greenfield, Minnesota.
And she's off to a powerful start. And that's a layout with a half twist. She was a little whippy off the horse, so you could see that bounce forward on the landing, which is going to cost her a good tenth or 2.
Coach Fagan says they're looking to increase her consistency and a little bit of her tenacity this year.
Yeah, this landing here was a little bit tenacious. And there it is, and that's quite a large hop, but good effort.
Out of Rockford High School in Minnesota. Her teammates call her Jessa Girl. An Iowa native, the freshman, Jessa Hansen.
I want you to look at these feet. This girl has impeccable form. Her legs look like they are absolutely glued together. Nice release move. They almost look like you couldn't pull them apart if you tried. Transition up. She's going to set herself up here for a big dismount. Right into a double layout and another good landing.
And you saw Ariel Suchish's score to try to get the Hawkeyes off to a fast lead. Jessica trained at the same gym as U.S. Olympian Shawn Johnson. Only 5'1", the 18-year-old, and her dismount.
Watch this landing. You can tell those Hawkeyes are out for every 10th.
Trained at Chow's Gymnastics back in Des Moines. Club coach, Liang Chow. For the Buckeyes now, the outstanding junior, the communications major, Beth Ann Ballard.
Beth Ann does a Yurchenko full twist, which was nicely done. The step will be a little bit of an issue, but it was a very clean vault.
Ranked second for the Buckeyes on the vault a year ago. Here she comes with liftoff.
Beth Ann has very good extension throughout her body, which I think is what makes it a nice bump off the horse into a nice full twist. Almost over twisted, which I think caused that step.
Coming back from knee surgery in the spring, a standout on the bars and on the vault. Super sophomore Hori Gabizian, 5-foot even power pack sophomore out of Newton, Mass.
Yes, power packed would certainly describe Hori. Very strong on these bars. She's a very dynamic swinger.
9.700 for teammate Jessica Hansen.
Nice release move to a handstand hold on the low bar, which is very difficult to balance in. She does a giant with a full twist right into that dismount, and they're sticking again.
The psych major, Hori Gabizian. Strong effort there, and the Hawkeyes off to a fast start on the bars.
And here comes that dismount, the combination of the giant full twist into a dismount. She was going for that stick in the middle of the double back.
Hori Gabizian says she could not live without gymnastics. It's dedicated just to the world of Big Ten women's athletics, and gymnastics, of course, will be there as well. The kind of coverage you just can't get anywhere else. It's the Big Ten Women's Show. Mondays, mark it down, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, only on the Big Ten Network. Casey Williams now, the freshman out of Mansfield, Ohio, St. Peter High School. Casey Williamson.
She makes good contact on the board, slightly bent arms on the horse, but she hit a very good landing.
Said she is shy, funny, and friendly. She's also pretty good on the vault for a youngster.
And you'll see why it's a little bit low. It's because when she makes contact right here, you can see the arms and the shoulders kind of gain her in a little bit, which makes her come backwards a little bit.
Casey Williamson, a remarkable tumbler. Wait till you see her on the floor event.
And I'm sure Jennifer is ready to add to another stick on the Iowa bar routines. She mounts by jumping over the low bar.
9.750 for teammate Hori Gabizian.
And there was Jennifer's release move, and you could see the leg separation. Overall, just a little bit of form. You can see the legs are not quite glued together. And another stick.
One of the things she has learned in her 4 years from Coach Libby, originality and creativity. High fives abound over there for the Hawkeyes.
And you'll see again on this dismount, it's a nice dismount, but the leg separation is going to definitely be a deduction.
The senior from Markham, Ontario, Jennifer Zimbutis. Watch this young lady, the sophomore out of Williamstown, New Jersey, Williamstown High School, the super sophomore Rebecca Best.
Rebecca does one of the most difficult vaults in the competition today. A Yurchenko 1.5, much better than last week's vault.
Off an awesome freshman year, Coach Fagan says, and this young lady really emerging as one of the team leaders for Ohio State.
She struggled with this vault last week and in warm-ups, but this is the competitive side of Rebecca. Here comes a nice Yurchenko 1.5 twist. You see a little bit of leg separation. but a very difficult vault. There it is on the way in. Little leg separation.
She was the 07 Junior Olympic National Champion in the all-around, the vault, the beam, and the floor, Rebecca Best. Her teammates call her Little Zimbuti, the sophomore sister of Jennifer, Rebecca Zimbutis.
I like watching Rebecca on bars. She has very long legs, which look really pretty when you're a good swinger on the bars. Right after she mounts, you'll see those legs all the way up into a handstand, and it helps with that nice toe point.
Her older sister, Jennifer, 9.725.
Nice, clean release moves. Everything she does with excellence. Nice handstand. Feet are nice and extended into a nice double pike dismount.
Two-time Canadian World Championship team member out of Markham, Ontario, the sophomore, Rebecca Zimbutis. How about a release move here in the middle?
Yes, and like I've been saying, look at that form, nice vertical lines all the way through to the toes.
Her goals for this season, 9.9 on the bars and the beams. Out of Edmond Memorial High School, I asked her the difference between 12 months ago in high school and now as a freshman for the Buckeyes.
I have a lot more confidence now, and I think that has to do a lot with my teammates and my coaches. I have coaches who really believe in me, and it's nice to have that, and my teammates really believe in me, have a lot of confidence in me, so that really boosts me and helps me out a lot.
Taylor's been building confidence all year. Her teammates obviously are very supportive to her, but I think when you start having a little bit of success, the confidence develops. And here comes one of her strongest events. Your Chenko full twist to an absolute stick.
Five-time Junior Olympic qualifier, the 07 Oklahoma Gymnast of the Year out of Edmond, Oklahoma. What a freshman and what a future for Taylor Jones.
And look at how high she comes up off the horse into the twist, which allows her to come in for a nice stuck landing. And look at the body shape. All of these are ingredients to being able to have a perfect landing.
Coach Kerry Fagan says Taylor has one of the best vaults I've ever seen. That from an all Big Ten performer at Penn State, her coach, Kerry Fagan. Last on the bars for the Hawkeyes, the Shermanator, Jenny Sherman.
Jenny is very strong on this event due to a nice straight line, which really defines the high quality bar workers.
First on the bar in the 07 Minnesota State Championship.
And there's her mount right away to a half pirouette. And then to another 1.5 pirouette. And here comes her release move, which is huge above the bar and finishes at the bar. Shoot over, and now she'll transition to the high bar. Setting up for a nice dismount here. She does 2 somersaults in the laid out position. Just a tiny hop on that landing.
Just around the corner from Minnetonka High School in Excelsior, Minnesota, where she ran track, the 4x400 meter relay, the triple jump, the long jump, and the pole vault.
Look at that, above the bar, way above the bar, and she catches solid.
Club coaches Will and Carrie Vaughn. Honor roll recipient out of Excelsior, Minnesota, Jenny Sherman. The Buckeyes and the Hawkeyes. It's close after the first rotation. When we come right back, we'll have all the scores and rotation number 2. The Hawkeyes move to the vault. The Buckeyes at home on the bars. Back on the campus of Ohio State University inside famed St. John Arena, the Hawkeyes and the Buckeyes. The Big Ten Network is looking for its best fans, super fans, its most passionate fans. The Big Ten Network wants to reward its loyal viewers with chances to win great prizes like tickets to a big game, TVs, iPods, and much, much more. So register now at thebig10network.com. Super fans on the Big Ten Network. A bunch of them right here. How'd the Hawkeyes do on the uneven bars in the first rotation, Mary Lee?
The Hawkeyes did a consistent, solid job, and their dismounts were impressive.
Meanwhile, Ohio State here at home on the vault got off to a fast start.
That was the best vaulting I've ever seen out of Ohio State. They were powerful tonight.
Team standings after the first rotation. First up for the Iowa Hawkeyes on the vault, the 20-year-old sophomore from upstate New York, Ariel Susi.
And this being a strong event for the Hawkeyes, these vaults are going to be very important. Ariel starts off with a clean layout Yurchenko. Not a very high start value, a little less than the full twist. And you can see here, she's pretty extended, nice open hips, but there's no twist on the other side. So that means it's not going to start from a 10-0.
Young lady whose most memorable gymnastics moment when she signed with Iowa. On the uneven bars for the Buckeyes here at home, Casey Williamson.
Casey has a nice bar routine, and as you watch, it's nice, but wait till the ending. Nice shoot over to a good handstand. She's got nice straight lines. And here comes this big dismount, 2 somersaults with a full twist in the laid out position. Not a lot in the routine, but an incredible dismount.
From St. Peter High School in Mansfield, she was the '07 high school state champion here in Ohio.
That is an outstanding dismount, even though it did have a step on the landing.
Still to come, she excels on the floor. A remarkable tumble. The youngest of the Zimbudas sisters, 5'2", 19 years of age, the sophomore, Rebecca Zimbudas.
Rebecca's checking that starting point, make sure that run is nice and consistent. And she does a Yurchenko with a half twist, same value as a full twist. Was a nice vault, a little lacking in the dynamics off the horse.
First Canadian to receive a silver medal on the uneven bars at a World Cup event. Here she is on the vault.
Just a little lacking in amplitude, and therefore you're going to see her change her position into a little bit of a pike to get more rotation, which is where her hips kind of start to close just a bit there to get down to the floor.
You saw on our Big Ten replay there, she got that right hand way ahead of the left on liftoff. The junior out of Kingwood, Texas, Beth Ann Ballard, next up on the bars for the Buckeyes.
And Beth Ann jumps on the bars from the inside, and here comes her release move, which is a straddle Jaeger to an immediate shoot over. Nice combination. And her dismount is also with a full twist, but if you notice, she's in a tuck position. Not quite the same value, but very impressive to a stuck landing.
Ask her about the best tip she ever got. She said, "You've done your skills 1,000 times. Now it's just time to show people what you've worked for."
And here it is. This somersault is in a tuck position. A little bit easier to land, and she does a great job.
I don't know about her favorite meal, though. Catfish and macaroni together. Beth Ann Ballard, the junior. Ori Gabijian over on the vault now for Iowa.
Gymnasts tend to kind of like this vault. It's good. You can unleash all of your power, all of your energy. And it's over quick. And she does a Yurchenko full. And she was very quick, and her body was very tight. You saw a step on the landing.
She nailed 9.725 3 times last year, Ori did.
And you can see here on the horse is where the problem starts, and she gets kind of close with her head to the horse. And I think that's where she had to kind of whip back to get off and get rotation.
The psych major out of Newton, Mass, Ori Gabijian. The junior and the criminology and psych major out of Naperville, Illinois. Next for the Buckeyes, Kristen Perhatch.
Kristen has a great mount. She starts off with a release move that's going to go from the low bar immediately to the high bar. It's a very difficult move. It's risky, and she does it clean. Look at those nice legs. And another release move, and it's a big one, to her third release move. Very impressive bar routine, lots of difficulty. A giant full, right into that double tuck. Nice routine.
Teammates call her KP, Kristen Perhatch, one of the towers of power along with Hillary Dow because of her height.
And there's that mount again. Very nice. It's difficult and it's beautiful.
Trained with the Chinese Olympic team 2 summers ago in Beijing. Kristen Perhatch for the Buckeyes. Tonight is your ultimate source for all things Big Ten. It's the nightly show for highlights, analysis of all today's Big Ten action, interviews, highlights, scores, and so much more. The Big Ten Tonight, only here on the Big Ten Network, and check your local listings. Annie Satowski, the freshman out of Reno now, just 18 years of age, nailed a 9.80 in high school back in Reno last year on the vault.
She's very focused, and see she's ready to make a huge impact on that board. Yes, very nice, very nice. She made good contact on the board and therefore had good rise onto the horse. You want to get back in there fast, but you want to be high enough so that you can have nice extended arms on the horse so you can rise up. It's a very clean vault.
Freshman goals for Annie to make positive contributions to the team and to make it to the Big Ten Championship and to the regional championships as well. Annie Satowski on the uneven bars for the Buckeyes. Taylor Jones.
You're going to start seeing more out of Taylor Jones. A very intense, focused athlete. She comes here to do a job, and that is to hit for the Buckeyes.
Says there are no right or wrong decisions. If you trust in yourself, you'll make a happy outcome.
Taylor Jones.
Here she goes. Nice, simple mount. Keeping it simple as she goes right into a full twist, into her release move. Handstand up into her second release move onto the low bar, a little short of handstand. It's a clean routine. And a nice double link up dismount. Very excellent landing.
Ask her the biggest difference between high school and the club level against college, the freshman. She says the enthusiasm and the school spirit.
So nice when you go after a routine as hard as you can. You go great on the dismount, you stick the landing. Feels so good because not only did you do it for yourself, but you did it for the team.
A ways from graduation still, the freshman. She wants to join the Peace Corps. Taylor does, and travel the world after she graduates. 5'2" and power pack, the 22-year-old senior out of Reno, Kara Pinu for the Hawkeyes.
And Kara does a Yurchenko with a layout half. She seems very excited about that. I think it lacked in a little bit in her body shape. It's supposed to be completely straight, and you're going to see a little bit of a pike shape here. As she leaves the horse, you'll see here she does a half turn, and the hips are slightly closed. Looks like it's going to be strong, but she lacked a little bit of rotation, but boy, did she fight for that landing.
Ask this personable senior what she told those 9 freshmen coming in. She said, get ready for some hard Hawkeye work, but tons of fun with our team as well. What a future she's got here. Rebecca Best, the super sophomore for Ohio State.
Rebecca starts with a simple glide kip. Wants to get off to a smooth start, just like her personality. Her first release move to the low bar, transition up to the high bar. She has a nice even rhythm on the bars, setting up for her big release move. Actually right into her dismount. And there it is with a small step.
Asked her to describe herself. She said laid back, happy, and smiled and chuckled and said, oh yes, super fly. She's flying high here.
And there comes the dismount with a full twist. She tried to stick but had one small step backwards.
Emerging as one of the team leaders for Coach Carrie Fagan, Rebecca Best. How about this senior? Jennifer Zimbutis has had 4 years under coach Larissa Libby. I said, describe your coach and what you've learned.
She is my inspiration. Like, I've known her for a long time, since we've come from the same gym, but she is almost like a sister, mother / person to me. So, I mean, I go to her for everything.
First team all Big Ten selection last year, Jennifer Zimbutis.
Now you're going to see that unusual vault I spoke about earlier. This is a full twist coming on the horse. It's the only one in the competition, and then a layout off. A little heavy on the landing and a step.
Knows it wasn't her best, her career best, a 9.9 at Illinois 2 years ago.
I think she lost it here when her legs kind of buckled a little bit on the board and she didn't get quite the amount of rise. So you're going to see her a little short on the landing.
And you see that one arm was extended a full foot in front over the other. That's where she got off balance.
But that's a competitor. She doesn't give up.
Out of Markham, Ontario, Jennifer Zimbutis for Iowa. Anchoring the Buckeyes on the bars, Melissa Meyer, the senior, out of Chesterfield, Missouri.
As you watch this routine, this is what I call an aggressive bar swinger. Kids that aren't afraid to fly. Making sure those grips are just right. Because when you release this bar and fly like she does, you want to make sure they're right in place. Look at that thing. That's called a Tkachev, and it was huge. And a full twist to a straddle back. Good combination.
And Rebecca Best and her score for the Buckeyes on the uneven bars.
Nice routine, nice dismount. Unfortunately, there was that little bit of a step on the landing.
A returning Buckeye captain, a little high on the release, huh?
Yes. So nice.
Wants to become a physical therapist upon graduation. The senior and exercise science education major for Ohio State. Halfway through our dual meet, the Hawkeyes have come to Columbus to take on the Buckeyes in the third rotation. When we come right back, the outstanding freshman Taylor Jones, you'll see and hear from her. And both of the Zimbutises again, Rebecca and Jennifer, anchoring things for Iowa. Back in Columbus, our dual meet, and a programming note, don't miss the biggest conference event of the year. Illinois hosting teams from all around the Big Ten as they compete for individual and, of course, team titles at the Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championship. That's coming to you live. Mark it down, Saturday, March 21st, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. The Women's Big Ten Championship live only here on the Big Ten Network. Results, the Hawkeyes on the bar. Annie and Kara did so well.
Yes, vault is a very strong event for Iowa, and they definitely came through on that event.
Meanwhile, for the Buckeyes, Casey Williamson and Beth Ann Ballard excelled.
And the difference on bars, they were great routines, but they didn't stick like the Hawkeyes.
You know, in a sport, as you check the standings right there, that are measured in tenths and 100ths of points. You look at those two teams, Iowa and Ohio State, being separated by 1/10 of a point. They tied a year ago, which is so unusual, as you know, from a coaching standpoint. Huh?
And look where we are here. A year from then, we're only 1/10 apart on these teams. It is going to come down to beam and floor, just like we thought.
The last two rotations. First up, the freshman out of LaPel, Indiana, and LaPel High School, Chrissy Woodward for the Buckeyes.
Christine Mounts, nice and simple, yet aggressive and very poised. Clean, full turn. It's nice to see from the end of the beam, you can see how important it is that you keep your shoulders and your hips square at all times. And there she was, right down the center of the beam, nice and square on her 3-pass series. The other thing that makes a difference is keeping your arms nice and tight and contracted. Kind of keeps the whole body in alignment.
Mary Lee, how much pressure in being first up on the beam? I mean, it does set the tone for your teammates, right?
Yes, it does, and Christine handled that pressure. A great routine and a great dismount.
She was the homecoming queen back in high school in LaPel, Indiana.
And here's that 3-element flight pass. 2 back handsprings. Right into a layout step out. You can see her feet are centered on the beam. Nice job.
Carrie Fagan says Chrissy is truly in a league of her own on the beam. On the floor, 5'2", the sophomore from Markham, Ontario, Rebecca Zimbutis.
Listen to this music. It's very interesting, very exotic. And Rebecca moves beautifully to this music. She starts off tumbling frontwards. Oh, and short on the second somersault. Hopefully she can pick it back up here, regain her focus and her composure, and finish strong. Second pass was a nice double pike, but she landed with stiff legs and took quite a hop on the landing.
Now, what the folks at home didn't see was in between rotations and during the warm-ups, one of her teammates came down, crashed, and burned, hurt her ankle. Now, does that affect your concentration, your performance when you see somebody do that in a warm-up?
You know, especially when it's a team that's very close-knit like this group of girls is. As hard as you try and you know what you have to do, it doesn't leave your body. There also has to be a restructuring now of the lineup. A replacement will go in.
Kara Pinu was in rotation number 3. She was coming out of the 5th spot just before Rebecca's sister Jennifer Zimbutis, and kind of a shaky performance there for the sophomore.
Yes, that's really disappointing, I'm sure, for Rebecca too.
A stumble and a bumble on the first pass here.
Yeah, and it looks a lot like the last pass. You can see her knees just kind of give out. She doesn't get a good punch on the takeoff and therefore doesn't have enough rise and rotation.
The 2007 Oklahoma Gymnast of the Year competing in the all-around, and I asked Taylor Jones her mindset. How do you separate one event from another?
I always find myself laughing at myself during the meets. You know, like on the floor, I'll find myself laughing at myself because I stumbled or something. But it comes off as okay because I'm smiling. So it's just kind of weird how that works out sometimes.
So here is this outstanding freshman. Talked about the attitude here being so much more upbeat than in the high school and the club level when everything is so serious.
Taylor is a calm competitor, but even when you're calm, you know the facts. You know how tight this meet is, and you're on 4 inches. The margin for error is very small.
And you saw Christine Woodward score for the Buckeyes on the beam.
Nice series, small little break on the ending. You can see Taylor got right back into the routine. There's her switch leap to a straddle jump and right into a straddle 3/4. Nice combination. Taylor has her game face on there. She looks very intense about making this routine. Punch front done very solid. Taylor's dismount, a cartwheel to a gainer full twist, little pike on the landing, but she stuck it.
I love her freshman spunk. She says sometimes a rash decision, the best way to guide yourself. I have a feeling we'll be calling all Big Ten for her before too long.
She sets up, she stands up tall for the dismount, but kind of second guesses herself and bends over, which will cost her probably a 10th.
Adding to degree of difficulty in all 4 of her routines, Carrie Fagan is Taylor Jones. After a shaky start for the Hawkeyes on the floor out of the 2nd spot, the sophomore, Ariel Susic.
Now this is where the intensity does build up. When your first player up has a rough start, and you know that these next 5 scores are going to count towards the team score.
8.125 for Rebecca.
Yes, that's hurt. That hurts, and that's definitely one that they're going to plan on not counting. So what's nice about a team meet, you put 6 athletes out and you throw out 1 score, so that's going to be the one.
But the next 5 have got to nail it, and 1 is a replacement.
Yes, it is. Nice, solid double tuck for her first pass. She does look determined to get the job done for her team. Double turn to a wolf jump combination. Very focused. Nice double pike. I think her performance is a very good effort. I think that she has definitely got some preoccupation with, I need to do the job.
As a coach, what do you tell a youngster then to relax and get rid of some of those nerves?
Well, to relax, yet stay focused on your task. Oh, no. Another fall. This one's going to count. This one's going to hurt.
2 for 2. Rebecca Zimbutis with an 8.125, and Ariel Susic a tough landing there. This is the first pass.
She gets off to such a strong start. This is a double tuck. She stands up great, flips 2 times and comes out and actually gets up in the air and finishes. Runs aggressive for the last pass, punches off the floor, comes a little bit short, and she's down.
The Hawkeyes and the Buckeyes were separated after 2 rotations by just 1/10 of a point. Amanda Serene now for the Buckeyes, the senior out of Fairfield, Ohio. And what her teammate Taylor Jones did just seconds before.
Yes, it's going to help Amanda knowing that her teammates got off to a good start. It relieves a little bit of the pressure, but nonetheless, you want to stay on the beam. It's a nice full turn. Amanda's taking that deep breath. She does a 3-element flight here. You'll see 3 all connected. There's a back handspring, a back handspring, and a layout step out, and she is solid. And there's her jump combination, and she does a good job.
Nice recovery.
Yes, it is. And another combination, that sheep jump is very difficult because you have to lay your head back, which takes your eyes off of the beam. Amanda is also known as Sir. And there's a gainer back pike to a beautiful stuck landing.
When you take your eyes off the beam, what are your thoughts? I mean, you've got a nanosecond to regroup.
Yes, your thoughts are, I hope I come back down on the beam. And there's that beautiful flight she does. 3 elements in a row, connected. And that landing was strong.
And a little wobble, fighting.
Yeah, she kind of checks herself a little early.
Coming back from a foot injury for her final year here, the senior Amanda Serene. Hawkeyes have been shaky on the floor, but Hori Gabigian all smiles, getting some encouragement from her coach, Larissa Libby, and from her teammates. But the pressure is squarely on here.
Yes, it is, but if anybody can handle it, I would count on Hori.
Well, we've had an 8.125 from Rebecca Zimbutis, an 8.850 from Ariel Susic.
Very strong double pike. She looks like she's ready to go, doesn't seem affected by the adversity. Double turn to a nice wolf jump. She's keeping that spirit alive, which is one of the things that she's known for. Front layout, nice form and execution.
picture of confidence right there, the sophomore.
Yes, it is. That's a true competitor. You've got to be able to step up, especially when the times are tough. And usually if you see it on the outside, that's what's going on the inside. She looks calm. She looks like she's having a good time. And she is ready for this final run. And a nice double tuck dismount.
Psych Major did her job right there for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Hori Gabejian, the sophomore from Newton, Mass. Another look, first pass.
Hori knows she's got a job to do, and she goes after it. Look at that double pike up in the air. She pulls those feet down. She is not going to go down on this routine.
Thrives on flipping around, in her own words, and working hard with her friends and teammates the entire day. Hori Gabejian. Carmel, Indiana, Carmel High School. The freshman Nicole Crowder now for the Buckeyes on the beam.
Cole starts with a press mount, which shows incredible strength. It's a nice, calm way to get on the beam. Nice leap series. Pretty legs, nice toe point.
Amanda Serene and her score for Ohio State.
Nicole gets all her jumps and her leaps done, so I'm sure now we're going to see some tumbling on the beam. And there's a one-arm back handspring to a very nice layout step out. She looked a little nervous going in, but I certainly don't see why.
What signs do you see as a coach when you say she looked nervous?
She took a long time before she started the movement. You can actually get a deduction if you stand there for more than 2 seconds. Those full turns, they're a requirement, but boy, can they be challenging. And there's the dismount. A gainer layout full. That's kind of known as the college hop there on the landing, a little off balance.
Coach Carrie Fagan says Nicole looks great on every event, but her best by far is the beam.
And this series she did was really nice. One arm back handspring to a layout step out. Boy, she was fighting with those feet.
What do you do when you're fighting?
Well, you grip with your toes. You can actually see where she's hanging on with her feet.
Member of the National Honor Society, the Spanish National Honor Society, Nicole Crowder for Ohio State. Next on the floor, a picture of confidence here despite being only a freshman, Jessa Hansen.
It's one of my favorite floor routines.
Because?
Look at her. She just is so excited to be out there.
Teammate Hori Gabejian on the floor for the Hawkeyes.
And look at this first pass. It's the only one you'll see in the meet. A punch, double front somersault, a little hop on the landing, but that is a tough first pass.
Nice stop to keep from going over the line.
Yes. Not only can she tumble, she can dance, and she has great flexibility, which you'll see in just a minute here. Here comes her leaps. Nice split. Very well done. Kind of plays with the judges in the crowd a little bit. Round off back handspring, 2.5 twist. She does a lot of front landings, which is why she struggles sometimes to stick the landings. They're much more difficult than landing backwards. And here comes that final pass. She knows the team needs it. She's going to give it all she's got. She tumbles frontwards, a front full to a front pike. Nicely done. She keeps that same great smile all the way through the routine. That was nice. Very good job.
Back in high school in Iowa, 3-time junior Olympic qualifier. First on the floor in high school. Jessa Hansen, first pass.
Look at this. She just runs aggressive, stands up really tall, and does 2 somersaults frontwards to a blind landing, which sometimes is why you get that step.
See Larissa Libby's reaction, a big high five and a hug and a big smile for the freshman, Jessa Hansen. This could be magic on the beam for the Buckeyes here. The super sophomore, Rebecca Best.
As we've said, this is a challenging event, but it's nice when you have a very calm, even-keeled personality. You don't want to put a lot of emotion into this event. You want to just be consistent and smooth. She starts off with a back handspring layout, small balance check. Leap and turn combination. That'll be good for some extra bonus tenths to her start value. Kick over front, and there, as I said before, you see the square shoulders and the square hips right to the end of the beam. When coaching beam, you stand at the end a lot of times to make corrections to see if they're off center. Becca does a big dismount. She does 2 back handsprings, right to a 1.5 twist, and boy, does she fight for that landing. Another hit routine for Ohio State.
Favorite quote for Rebecca Best: develop a negative into a positive picture and do it quickly.
Here's a nice combination of her switch leap to an immediate tuck turn. And there's the dismount. Another combination. She's full of combination bonus.
Competing for the Buckeyes in the team title, as well as the all-around Rebecca Best. We talked about the injured Kara Pinu, the senior out of Reno. This is her replacement with not much time to prep. The freshman from nearby Mason, Ohio, Amy Center. Brace on the right knee, bandage on the left.
Yes, Amy has definitely had some issues with her knees. Some of it she was born with, some of it has just come from wear and tear. But Amy Center is a fighter.
Jessa Hansen and her score for Larissa Libby's Hawkeyes. Quick mood change there.
Amy likes to dance. Here comes her first pass. Round up back handspring. 2.5 twist. A little bit out of bounds. There's that front landing. Always challenging.
So what'll that cost?
It'll cost her a 10th. I think she was only 1 foot out of bounds.
Well, and remember the first 2 scores, 8.125 for Rebecca Zimbudas and Ariel Susic with that 8.850.
Which they're going to have to count. Amy does a nice front tumbling pass. Her double saltos very well connected. Look at that girl dance. The brace on the right leg is from a surgery. I think the left one is just a protection. Amy does an outstanding job stepping up to the plate there for Kara.
Out of the bullpen to help out her injured teammate Kara Pinu. This is the outstanding freshman from Mason, Ohio, second in the 07 state championships. Amy Center, second pass.
You watch Amy, she is very tight on her punches. She squeezes those legs aside from those braces. Does a nice job.
First thing Amy remembered about gymnastics as a youngster, she was itching all over after her first meet and then realized she had chicken pox after the meet was over. Amy Center from Mason, Ohio. Last for the Buckeyes, Kiki Holman now on the beam, the senior from Greenfield, Minnesota.
Very difficult mount, punch front.
9.750 for the sophomore, Rebecca Best.
Another 3-element pass. Kiki moves very aggressive on the beam, which is definitely the way to go. When you're tentative is usually when you make the most mistakes.
As a coach, can you tell early in the routine if your gymnast is tentative or not?
Absolutely. This gymnast is not tentative. Some athletes you can tell in their face, some in the way they move. She's more aggressive in her body movements than in her facial expression. And there Kiki does a round off, 1.5 twist to an excellent landing.
Describes herself, Kiki Holman does, as laid back. Then she chuckles and says forgetful, and then a big chuckle and a grin. She says, and oh yes, part cat.
And here it is. Back handspring, feet right in the center of the beam. Nice job. And here's the dismount. And there's another hit routine for the Buckeyes.
The salutatorian out of Rockford High School in Greenfield, Minnesota, Kiki Holman. Senior leadership now, Jennifer Zimbutis. I asked her about those 3 straight wins for the Iowa Hawkeyes and what momentum coming into Columbus.
After each meet, when we're really excited that we do really well, we know that we're capable of doing what we are doing. So, I mean, it's really exciting to like come off of 3 meets, you know, winning 3 for 3.
The Health and Sports Studies major, Jennifer Zimbutis.
This routine is full of tumbling difficulty.
Super sub, the freshman, Amy Center, and how she scored for the Hawkeyes.
And here's her first difficult tumbling pass. She does a double back with a full twist and has absolutely no trouble doing it.
Last up on the beam for the Buckeyes, Kiki Holman with a 9.775. Running the anchor leg for Iowa.
Nice combination in that second pass. That's impressive. She does a full twist into a double back. Very nice. See a lot of power in those calf muscles. I think that adds to her ability to be able to tumble so well. I think with Jennifer and those ankles, I think a lot of that, after competing so often for the past 4 years, a lot of that's protection, especially when you tumble like she does. Comes the third and final pass, also a difficult pass. Round off back handspring, double pike.
And you saw Coach Larissa Libby cheering her super senior on, Jennifer Zimbutis, the 23-year-old from Markham, Ontario.
Watch this first pass. You don't see a lot of this. This is a double salto pass with a full twist into a double tuck, stood up. And here's that last pass, a double pike, which you see most girls do in the first pass, and she does it in the last pass.
Jennifer said if she could be on the cover of any magazine, it would be Vogue, and the title would say, "Who is this incredible sizzling gymnast from Canada?" From Columbus, the Hawkeyes and the Buckeyes. When we come back, the results of rotation number 3. And on the 4th and final rotation, Iowa moves to the beam. The Buckeyes on the floor. You'll see Rebecca Best and Taylor Jones. Welcome back to Columbus, and a reminder, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Big Ten Conference and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this championship may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Big Ten Conference. Mary Lee Tracy alongside a recent inductee into the USA Gymnastics Hall of Fame. The results of rotation number 3.
Definitely a bit disappointing for the Hawkeyes on the floor exercise. They had to count an 8-8-5, and it just was a rough night for the Hawkeyes.
Meanwhile, the Buckeyes, and a couple of changes on some scoring. They've had some scoring snafus, but Christine Woodward with a different score, 9.725. Nicole Crowder, 9.775. So the team standings after 3.
Well, you can see that the Ohio State Buckeyes, they stepped up. They took advantage of a situation. They hit their routines, and the Hawkeyes just really had a disappointing day on floor.
Now, about that injured Jim Hawk. Coach, thanks for joining us. First and most importantly, how is Kara after that wipeout on the floor?
I haven't talked to my athletic trainer as yet. It looked pretty bad, possibly a torn Achilles, which is going to be devastating for us. But Kara's a tough kid, and she's, if it's not torn, I know Kara, she's going to do everything that she can to help this team out.
The junior out of Waterloo, Iowa. First up now on the beam, Andrea Hurlburt.
Andrea mounts with a punch front. A little bit low, but very solid. Switch leap, straddle, straddle. Good combination bonus. Andrea has a gorgeous toe point. Back handspring. Back handspring. I think there might have been supposed to be something on the end of that.
So what'll that cost?
Well, she had a break, but the judges don't always know what's supposed to be there, so they can't really deduct for it. It's an interesting move to be down on the beam.
Beam, Marilee, not the easiest of the 4 apparatus to come from behind on, huh?
No, it's certainly not the one you want to be on when the pressure's on.
Advantage home team to finish on the floor.
Oh, of course it is. The crowd will get you going, and you're already fired up and you're ahead. You're probably going to see some great floor performances. Yeah, here she sets up. She does a back handspring to 2 feet, and then she does a layout step out. And possibly there was something on the end, or she just kind of landed short.
The biology major for the Hawkeyes out of Waterloo, Andrea Hurlburt. Starting things off for the Buckeyes at home on the floor, the senior, Alyssa Meyer. Best on the bars and on the floor. Rock solid, says Coach Carrie Fagan.
These are the kind of athletes that are missed when they graduate. Powerful music for a powerful gymnast.
Nailed 3 9.85s on the floor, all here at home at St. John Arena last year. Alyssa did. Fast start.
Yes, and that was a big start. That was a double pike that landed almost straight up and down. There's her leap combination. Very focused to make these tumbling passes. You can see that. Nice, clean combination. You can see the power in those legs when she punches, which is why all of her tumbling is so high. Not to mention some nice calves there, also very developed, which help in punching.
She's got teardrops on my guitar playing on her iPod, but you could watch men come out of a Trojan horse with this music.
That's for sure. She finishes just as strong as she started.
Returning captain for Carrie Fagan and the Buckeyes, the senior from Chesterfield, Missouri, and John F. Kennedy High School. There's the 5th-year Buckeye coach, former Penn State Pride Award winner when she was a Nittany Lion, Carrie Fagan. Second pass now for Alyssa.
All passes in this routine were nice. This was her 2.5 twist to that blind landing right into a pike front. Beautifully done.
Next up for Alyssa Meyer after graduation, physical therapy. On the beam for the Gym Hawks of Iowa, the freshman, Jessa Hansen.
Showing off her flexibility right away. That was a nice mount.
And what her Iowa teammate did.
There you see all of her flexibility. What's nice about optional routines is you have the option of putting in the skills that you are good at that meet the requirements. Nice standing back tuck, small break there.
Good job fighting it, though, to get it back.
Yes, it was. As long as your mind and body are connected, you can usually make adjustments if you're just a little bit off. Nice punch front. There's that wonderful full turn, and she does a good job with it. Side summy, very solid. What's nice about Jessa is she has a good balance of dance difficulty and tumbling difficulty. And there is a nice dismount, stuck in a good body posture position.
And a hug from fifth-year Iowa Hawkeyes coach Larissa Libby.
And there's her back tuck combination, where she just had that little balance check. I think the right foot was a little off to the side of the beam. And here comes this big, solid dismount.
Jessa's first gymnastics memory doing cartwheels back at Chow's gym when she was training in her black leotards as a youngster. 5'1", the freshman, 18 years of age, Jessa Hansen. Amanda Serene on the floor now for the Buckeyes.
Amanda Serene getting ready for her first pass. Round off back handspring, double pipe. Amanda looks like she's ready to have a good time in this routine.
Both ankles wrapped back from that foot injury for her final year, the senior. Nailed it.
Yes, she did. It doesn't look like those ankles are giving her much problem tonight. You can always tell, like, a powerful gymnast will always pick powerful music so that they can be balanced with their music.
Describes herself as outgoing, crazy, and funny. I guess 3 characteristics that help to be a good gymnast.
Especially on this event. Nice double tuck for her third and final pass.
Amanda Serene as the Buckeyes try to pad their lead here in the 4th and final rotation.
And there's her double salto pass. 2 nice, strong front layouts.
Solid effort there for the senior, Amanda Serene. Sophomore out of Markham, Ontario, Rebecca Zimbutis.
Rebecca loves this event.
Her goal, 9.9 on both the bars and the beam. Best on the beam last year, 9.875 at the Texas Women's Invitational. Just about 12 months ago. 2-time Canadian World Championship team member in high school.
Nice combination. She looks very solid. Looks like she shook off her event on floor, which is good.
And you saw her teammate Jessa Hansen score there.
She works really well in the center of the beam. If you watch her feet, she definitely uses her toes. Usually when you have a strong toe point like she does, that means that the muscles in her feet are very strong, which are going to help her grip the beam. And a beautiful dismount.
what she has learned from that lady. You're no longer doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your team and being part of a big family. Here's the dismount.
And you can tell this whole routine was for the team.
Trying to pick up some of the slack for the injured teammate, Rebecca Zimbutis. Just about halfway through the fourth and final rotation now out of St. Peter High School in Mansfield, Ohio, the freshman Casey Williamson.
This whole Ohio State team has some very powerful music, I guess because they're such a great tumbling team.
Think iTunes has helped that out at all?
Well, I think it certainly gives them a wider choice to be able to select music from, and that was huge. A nice double pike. Those strong legs are not just good for the tumbling, but also for the jumps and the leaps because they're able to get more air time. Now she's tumbling frontwards with that another nice clean pass, front layout, front layout. There is a requirement to have at least one pass with 2 saltos in it.
Deep breath, concentration, here we go.
And the last pass, 2.5 twist, and there's that front landing with the large step.
Coach Fagan says
strong.
what a great job she's doing, progressing well, coming back from that knee injury her senior year of high school. The freshman, Casey Williamson, another look.
Fans would like to announce that Audrey,
What a strong tumbler she is.
the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Regional Championship.
That is up in the air.
Also a bag of Buckeye prizes.
Great future here in Columbus for the freshman.
Audrey Mondero.
Terrific action here in Columbus and more action coming your way on the Big Ten Network. It's the Penn State Nittany Lions led by last year's conference all-round champion Brandy Personette. They head off to Ann Arbor to take on Michigan, and Sarah Curtis, the all-round runner-up to Brandy last year and the winner of 2 Gymnast of the Week awards so far this year. It's Penn State and Michigan right here on the Big Ten Network next Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, only on your Big Ten Network. It's been a very strong night for this super sophomore for Iowa, Hori Gabezian. What a meet she's had. 19 years of age out of Newton, Mass.
Big mount, stands up nice and tall, no deduction there. Very aggressive leap combination. She means business tonight. Nice series. It's very hard to keep your legs straight when you're tumbling in a series, and she does a great job of squeezing her legs. Nice full turn. You can tell she's setting up for something here, catching her breath. Looks like it's going to be the dismount. Round off double tuck. You don't see many of those. That is a big dismount.
9.900 twice last year on the beam for the Hawkeyes in her freshman year.
Can see why she took a little time to set up for this. She punches the round off, does 2 somersaults off the end of the beam, and comes down for a great landing with just a small step. Watch those feet punch aggressively on the beam right into the takeoff.
The psych major out of Newton, Mass, Hori Gabezian. All the while that routine on the beam was going on, Kerry Fagan just whispering in the ear of this young lady, Rebecca Best, on the floor for the Buckeyes.
Not sure what she's going to do with this first pass. Coach Carey was deciding whether to keep it in. She does a very big first pass called a full in.
And what Casey Williamson did for the Buckeyes on the floor before Rebecca.
Here it goes, and she chooses the big one and does a great job. So instead of just doing a simple double back, she did it with a full twist. Wow, that was some lift off of the floor on those jumps.
Mary Lee, as a competitor, as a gymnast, do you like it when the coach is undecided what's in and out of a routine just moments before you go out and compete?
You know, that's different personalities. An A-type personality certainly doesn't like that kind of behavior. Some kids like to see how it feels, and Rebecca's probably one of those kind of kids. I think Rebecca likes to compete, so a lot of your choices can be based on what type of a competitor they are, if they're one who rises or really would like to do something more simple. I think she's the type, if she had a choice, she would definitely pick the challenge. And there's her double salto pass. First one had a full twist. And we knew it was going to come down to this event.
The Buckeyes are second in the Big Ten Conference on the floor. Rebecca Best.
And watch this first pass. She gets up in the air, she does a full twist, and then she does another somersault and a great landing.
Pretty cool at the end of the third pass, huh?
Yes, kind of like an explanation point on a really cool routine.
And you see that bemused grin right there, where the gal that's emerging is one of the team leaders here on campus at Ohio State. And the senior, Zambudis, Jennifer, 23 years of age, 5'1", out of Markham, Ontario. Sister, of course, is a sophomore. You've already seen Rebecca.
I've talked to some of Jennifer's teammates, and I wonder, she always seems so serious, and they said, oh, that's not her, that's only in competition. She likes to keep that focus, especially here on this event.
Corey Kapizian, what she did for the Hawkeyes.
The margin for error is so small. Break your focus just a little bit, and ooh, you can find yourself on the floor. Nice full turn.
Hawkeyes are 5th in the Big Ten Conference on the beam.
That handspring layout step out, very solid. She's picking it back up. Leap combination into a side summy. That was beautiful. And a nice, simple, clean dismount to a stuck landing.
Best on the beam for this outstanding senior, 9.875 at Iowa State last year. She points to the Women's Big Ten Gymnastics Championship. Here's a little wobble earlier.
Yeah, she landed a little short. You can see, and her feet were in the wrong position, which caused the break. This dismount was just really solid.
You'll see Jennifer Zambudis and Coach Larissa Libby at the Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championship live on the Big Ten Network later this year. Hillary Dow, the junior, the exercise science major now for the Buckeyes on the floor, padding their lead here at home.
This is another strong tumbler. Can she get up in the air? She uses those long, powerful legs, and she stands up on her takeoff. And she started with her double salto pass. Got that out of the way.
And Rebecca Best before her. Carrie Fagan says, Mary Lee, that she's looking to Hillary Dow to really become the go-to person for this team emotionally and athletically. They want her to emerge as one of the leaders.
Yeah, you can see that in her personality. You can see she's strong, you can see she's a leader, and she definitely has a good attitude. This time she's tumbling backwards. Round off back handspring double pike. still staying alive, having a good time with that music. That was a cool move. Mined a straddle jump and went down to the floor, got her down on the floor business done. And she's ready for the final run. Round off whip to a double full. Good combination and still a smiling face.
The other half of the towers of power here on the shores of the Olentangy. Hillary Dow, second pass.
This was really her most dynamic pass, her second pass. Round off back handspring, and she sets up big for a nice double pike, strong landing. Watch this, a straddle full turn and down to her stomach. Didn't look like it affected her at all.
Hillary Dow says, smell the rain, feel the wind, live your life to the fullest potential, and fight for your dreams. The Buckeye, the junior, out of Yorktown, Virginia. Sixth and last for the Iowa Hawkeyes. The replacement now, the senior Brandy Loffer, the 21-year-old. Kara Pinyu was in the third hole. Everybody moved up a spot. So Brandy coming out of the bullpen, if you will. The 21-year-old from Corona, California.
And that's a challenging position to be in. Not know you're going to compete, although most teams do set an alternate, so at least they are prepared. There's that long pause. And here comes her flight pass, back handspring, layout, step out. She paused, but she hung in there. You see she's talking to herself, using some words to keep herself moving and confident. Side summy. Somewhere between a side summy and a side aerial. I wasn't quite sure which one she was going to attempt there, but she turned out at the end, which made it a side movement. Ooh, and that was supposed to be a combination, which is a requirement to have two jumps or leaps together. And she was gonna try to cover it, and she's gonna try again. Straddle jump and do a split jump. Nerves kind of got a hold of her on her leaps. She didn't give up, though. I'll give that to her. She does a nice round off 1.5 twist and a good stuck landing. Just a little shaky on those jumps and leaps.
Best on the beam, 9.775 twice last year, including at the Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championship for Brandy Loffer. A little bit of a bailout there.
Yeah, you see her trying to go for the combination, but she probably made a good choice there and fought to stay on the beam. But there she finishes strong.
Brandy Loffer out of Corona, California.
On floor for Ohio State's Taylor Jones.
This is one upbeat gal right here, Taylor Jones.
She's a great athlete to have anchor your team on this event. Those legs are fired up and ready to do some big tumbling, and she opens with a double pike.
There is Carrie Fagan, 94 graduate of Hoover High School in North Canton, Ohio, went on to Penn State.
Nice front tumbling pass with a full twist connected to a layout. Looks like a happy team behind her.
Hillary Dow and what she did on the floor. You know, Coach Fagan likes to say that her coaching philosophy has always been to train the individual and not the team.
Well, at this age, they're all individuals, and you certainly aren't going to coach them all the same. It's nice to put your down on the floor movements so you can actually catch your breath. I like the way the music picks up strong here as she goes into the last tumbling pass. It's a great way to pick yourself up. Nice 2.5 twist. Great floor show by the Buckeyes.
And a high five from Coach Fagan. Favorite place that she's competed? Maui. And why wouldn't it be? Mahalo.
She finishes with a twisting pass with a front landing, which can be, of course, there's the challenge, which will cost her about a 10th.
Strong effort, though, for the freshman out of Edmond, Oklahoma, Taylor Jones. Halfway through this terrific dual meet between Iowa and Ohio State, the Hawkeyes had a 10th of a point lead. The fourth and final rotation into the books. Will tabulate the results, final results, and the winning interview straight ahead. Back to Columbus, inside famed St. John Arena, the campus of the Ohio State University. An exciting dual meet, the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Ohio State Buckeyes. The results of rotation number 4, Rebecca Zimbutis, the super sophomore, 9.875 for Larissa Libby's team. Hori Gabizian was second best with a 9.850. Home court advantage, the Buckeyes on the floor. Again, the freshman Taylor Jones, 9.825. Second straight week she's been the best. Amanda Serene next, 9.800. So the team standings, Hawkeyes halfway through, leading by a 10th of a point. A year ago, most unusual, these two teams tied, dealing in tenths and hundredths of a point. So the Buckeyes righted the ship, and Mary Lee now with the winning coach, Carrie Fagan, after Ohio State came from behind here on their home campus.
Well, we have a happy Carrie tonight. I think last time I talked to you, it was a little less enthusiastic, and I think you gave the team a C. What about tonight?
I think they definitely earned an A tonight. It's the first time we've hit 24 routines in a long time, so it feels good, and I feel like we made some smart lineup decisions, and the girls came through.
And besides the lineup decisions, what went on in the gym this week that turned this team around?
I saw a different team. They were more intense. Every turn mattered to them, and they were looking for perfection, and we came close to that on a couple of routines tonight.
Great. Well, thank you, and here's Jim.
Meanwhile, Mary Lee, let's check the all-around. The freshman Taylor Jones for Ohio State. Then a couple of the Hawkeyes, Hori Gabizian, Jennifer Zimbutis, Rebecca Best, fourth best this night in Columbus. So that's it from Ohio State. The final results, another look. Coach Fagan said we're really concentrating, improving on the vault this week, improving our scores as we look to the Big Ten Championship. And we look to Penn State heading to Ann Arbor to take on the Wolverines. Don't forget the Women's Championships coming up live Saturday, March 21st. For Mary Lee and all our Big Ten Network crew here at Ohio State, we'll say goodbye Columbus, the preceding and exclusive presentation of the Big Ten Network.